MPs debate Porgera takeover despite overwhelming support. Landowners squabble over mine benefits. And Health Minister queried on use of hydroxychloroquine.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayre.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Friday's news. Those headline stories later in the bulletin, but first, Gulf Provincial Government yesterday signed a memorandum of agreement with Twinza Oil Limited to develop a first-of-its-kind offshore power project for efficient power supply into the Gulf Province. Governor Chris Haiveta says this project will boost industrialization and assist in the development and growth of non-hydrocarbon sectors within the Gulf Province. While negotiations are still ongoing between the state and Twinza Oil Limited for the Pasca A gas condensate field off the coast of Gulf Province, the Gulf Provincial Government has entered into a non-binding agreement with Twinza Oil Limited to pursue opportunities for industrialization in the province. The signing of this MOA is a business venture the Gulf Provincial Government is taking to boost non-hydrocarbon sectors such as forestry, fisheries, agriculture, manufacturing and transport, among others.
We've got timber industry in the province. We've got 5 concessions that at the moment, because of the high costs of production, have been closed down. We've also got a prawn industry in the province and also other marine resources that are hardly tapped at all. So for us, once we get an industrial center going, we'll tap into these.
Governor Haiveta says by taking this approach, his provincial government intends to buy all of the domestic market obligations and aggregate natural gas from the Pasca A gas development project and generate 200 megawatts of electricity using dry gas for non-hydrocarbon customers in the province. This electricity will be generated by a power plant located within the vicinity of the Pasca project production platform and transported by subsea cables to transformers located on shore near the provincial capital, Kerema.
In anticipation of national content provisioning are entering into this heads of agreement. It's non-binding as between themselves. And it spells out potential business relationships they will enter into down the track, where Twinza, as the producer of the oil and gas, will make available some of their gas to the Gulf Provincial Government-owned commercial entity, and that entity will use it to generate electricity for the people of Gulf and any businesses and industries that set up there.
While the signing of the MOA is a business venture for the province, discussions on the fiscal terms between the state and Twinza Oil Limited are still ongoing. Twinza's PNG country manager Rope Uyasi, in a statement, said the company is working with the government to come to an agreement that allows the gas project to move forward while providing a higher state take than in previous projects. Chief Executive Officer of Twinza Oil Limited, Ian Munro, said discussions will also address non-fiscal opportunities.
Clearly, the non-fiscals, we might include the domestic market obligation, local content, third-party access. You know, I sense that there's good alignment between the sides. The devil is always in the detail, but I'm confident we'll get an agreement that works for both parties.
Munro says once the Pasca A gas agreement and the petroleum development license are in place, the project is well positioned to enter front-end engineering and design or FEED.
Hopefully that will be as soon as this month. We would then issue our tenders for FEED, and we would plan to enter FEED on the project before year end, which would put us in a position to make our final investment decision towards the end of next year. And the company would hope to see production being delivered to the Gulf and elsewhere, international markets, in 2024. The estimated cost currently is somewhere around $600 to $700 million US for the initial phase of the development, which will deliver LPGs, condensate,
Minister for Petroleum and Energy Karen Gakua expressed delight in the steps taken by Gulf Provincial Government and Twinza Oil Limited by looking ahead to make things happen.
Our next challenge is to make sure we agree to the terms of the gas agreement. We sign off, and then this one will be in place to kick in also to help the people of Gulf Province take advantage of opportunities that come out of the use of resources from their own province.
Minister Kua added that the signing between Gulf Provincial Government and Twinza Oil Limited finds a fit with the overall scheme of things the national government is approaching. Overwhelming public support has been received by the Marape Stephen government for its decision to take over Porgera gold mine from Barrick New Guinea Limited. But has this government followed proper legal processes it is mandated to follow in granting the special mining lease to Kumul Mineral Holdings Limited? These are some of the concerns raised in Parliament today.
While the Porgera mine is closer to heart for Enga province, it is a national issue with concerns being raised by all members of Parliament. Today, member for Engaram Salia Waipo questioned Prime Minister James Marape if landowner consultation was even carried out. He also wanted to know if Barrick New Guinea Limited had fulfilled all its obligations in the last contract. But most importantly, if Kumul Mineral Holdings Limited even has the capacity to run the mine.
On today's post career, the former Prime Minister says Kumul Mineral was a company he started, and it has no capacity and it is broke. So can you confirm if that is true or not?
His questions were supported by former Prime Minister and member for Yalibu Pangia, Peter O'Neill.
Kumul Minerals Holdings is technically not has the financial capacity to undertake a operation like Porgera because of past investments in Tolukuma, in Nautilus mining, which has drained out most of the financial capacity of that particular institution.
Prime Minister James Marape, while admitting to this failure, said they are correcting the decisions of the past government.
Former Prime Minister, make him talk here, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I'm correct, awesome. Kumul Mineral, he got plenty of heavy longan, but people start to clean him now. So, government, you may take him responsibility finish, now maybe transfer him. Maybe no blame the son, lose him, no God. Maybe take him responsibility. We have transferred this blood now. 375 million kina we transferred into treasury books. Lo clean him. Kumul Mining. Now Kumul Mining can sit down clean pla company. Now ready lo walking walk. Running walk teddy. Ready lo walking walk lo running Porgera.
Opposition leader Beldenama, in a supplementary question, wanted to know if proper legal processes were followed.
Prior to KMHL being issued the SML, did KMHL have the exploration license over the Porgera mine after it's expired? Was there a mine wardeneering conducted in Porgera? Was there an environmental impact study done prior to the issuance of SML to KMHL? Was KMHL ever issued the environmental permit?
Bambla sends him lawyer to go into the future if need be, lo preserve interest for country. And Bambla rule him line now. Who said you like put him country first, you come to this other side. Who said you like put him country first, you step upside. But so far, me bla biani mogra law stop lo this ground. Lo country bli me. Lo passing this law. Lo give him this license.
The NEC is expected to announce the KMHL board soon, with several urgent agendas to look into. Shaman Porambeb, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, the custodians of the Porgera gold mine who relied on the reserves for the past 30 years are now dealing with the effects of the mine's closure. While the Marape Stephen government has allowed a state entity, in this case Kumul Mineral Holdings Limited, to operate the mine, the people are questioning how they will benefit. They are divided, accusing each other of benefiting from royalty payments and share dividends paid over the past 3 decades.
For 30 years, the villages in the special mining lease area that include Pandaka, Paiken, Mungulaip, Yarik, Apalaka and Yuan and others have watched this mountain become an open pit mine. Placer Dome awarded the initial 30-year special mining lease in 1989 and later selling its shares to Barrick Gold in 2006. And Poro Gold also sold its 20% shares to Barrick in 2006. Barrick then selling half of its 95% share to Zing Mining Group, while Mineral Resource Enga, comprising of the provincial government and landowners, were left with 5%. The 5% is now dividing landowners on conditions for a new SML going forward, as Porgera mine, while producing billions of US dollars over the 30 years for its shareholders, including landowners and the provincial government, have seen little to no major changes take place in the valley.
Now, because the government make him, because the greedy and selfish make him, you make a two-plagan group long, landowners stable must be. Me plaga two-plagan group long, government two stable must be. Me plaga two-plagan group long, all fight lo developer come in chelo Porgera long, take over Porgera mine two stop in check. Look him. Before you fix him, you need to fix him. Porgera landowners association past them. There's like two-plag group, you must rush him two-plag come back, now come up one-plag past them. Before long, there's like Kumul loading come in check or Barry come in check. The issue mi blaga there long Porgera yet mi blaga two group stop. Government you need to address him. Number one, address him slide on association past him.
8 posts in the village that facilitate villages has closed down after running short of medicine because they depend heavily on Barrick support.
Since mining closed down for 5 months, mi blaga community lawyer, community lawyer even all outside long, Yarik, Apalaga, Lower Porgera, also come lawyer na kissing treatment lawyer. So last 30 years, me playing this action some all supplies, all marasin na kind of all government in supply me bla.
But that doesn't mean the people are unaware of what should have been granted to them. They say the issue isn't Barrick or the state. They just want to be heard.
Government come direct na talking me bla power ground. Company making wrong or same na me bla la kissing. Ba mi bla alpim you bla osem. Ba you bla sidan osem. And this line talks out mi bla noxim.
Resettlement highlighted as an issue of why the SML extension was not granted. Financial compensation for usage of fertile land as a waste dump area has now come to a halt.
Company making wrong and me saben stop. Government making wrong me saben stop. So now me thank you of you Marape government you kissing back sila mine na. Me a must. So government you got one consent but you people blow Porgera need loan government you come talk sablo me blow some me blow Paul stop me blow double runsula.
But everyday life in the valley continues, the people taking each day as it comes. While money doesn't flow like it used to in the valley, many have turned to their gardens.
The longer it takes to open and the longer the landowners on the ground wait to see the mine opening or community in Porgera wait. And the more they get used to normal life without a mine, then they may say, we don't need a mine.
Adelaide Sirokskari, National EMTV News.
And Adelaide Sirokskari will bring a closer look on Porgera in our news bulletin this Sunday. You're watching National EMTV News. We'll be back with more stories after these messages. Stay with us. Welcome back. The 21 Asians arrested in Northern Province for breaching immigration laws appeared before the Popondetta District Court today. The state was represented by PNG Immigration and Citizenship Authority investigators, interpreters and police prosecuting team. Police prosecutor Senior Sergeant Ben Winona said after deliberations and examinations on all parties, the case was further adjourned to 14th September 2020. In the meantime, investigations are continuing on the escape of the further 16 suspects and government officers responsible for colluding with visa agents. Several district and provincial members of the Procurement Committee have been sworn in today. This enables the District and Provincial Procurement Committee members to conduct procurement at district and provincial levels. All provinces and districts were also requested to create an office space for the establishment of a District or Provincial Procurement Committee office.
The swearing-in ceremony saw Procurement Committee members of North Fly District, Korobale Kopiago District and Central Province all sworn in. The District Procurement Committee members consist of the DDA CEO, District Finance Manager, Community Rep, Women's Rep and a Law and Justice Rep, while the Provincial Procurement Committee members consist of the Provincial Administrator, Provincial Works Manager, Finance Manager and Planning and Budget Advisor. This now enables the committee members to conduct procurement exercise at district and provincial level.
So the boardroom here, the board members have approved and delegated their board powers to you, to the committees. So when you are delegated the powers, you have the task of performing the National Procurement Commission's board functions in the districts.
The establishment of the Procurement Committee comes under the National Procurement Act, which came into effect in April last year. Under this act, all DSTB and PSTB ceased, and all provinces and districts were asked to establish their Procurement Committee. Various institutions have also established their Special Procurement Committees. So far, 9 provinces have established their Provincial Procurement Committee, with 24 districts and 8 Special Procurement Committees for institutions.
Provincial committees, like we said, we have only 9 done. So we appeal to the provincial administrators to write to us to request for establishment of provincial committees. For the districts and the provinces, what we need to do is we also have to establish office in there.
The committee members were also given instructions on what to do and what not to do. This includes threshold limits where the procurement committees are allowed to procure. The provincial procurement committees are allowed to procure contracts and projects worth less than 5 million kina. District procurement committees were allowed to procure only 2.5 million kina and 1 million kina for special procurement committees.
So when we apply restrictions and give in to national companies, make sure that national companies are existing companies, are capable companies, they have the capabilities to do it. Not because it's national companies or you just yes sir to it and give you that project's not delivered, it's not good. We need quality, we need value for money too.
The swearing-in ceremony was also witnessed by North Fly MP James Donald and Korobale Kopiago MP Petrus Thomas. They thanked the National Procurement Commission, saying this will support service delivery at district and provincial level.
And I'm very thankful because it makes job easy for everyone across the country.
It will really give us the flexibility to move things faster than waiting for the provincial or the national government procurement team. So.
Rayon Lakingu, National, MTV News.
The body of a senior employee from the Bank of Papua New Guinea was brought to his resting place in Mall District of Western Highlands Province this week. Late Moses Nembil was the central bank's economist. He died from leukemia recently. His casket was escorted home by former colleagues, including the central bank's assistant governor, Alison Piddick.
The passing of Moses Nambil has left a vacuum at the central bank, but most of all his families and tribesmen who look up to the former economist as an inspiration. Nambil had been sick for a while with leukemia and died just 34 years of age. He is survived by his wife, a 4-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son. Nambil was an economist with the Bank of Papua New Guinea before his passing. He worked under the bank's Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion, or CEFI program. Assistant Governor Alison Piddick said in his tribute that Nambil was the type of person who has a heart for the country and wants to see the uneducated population be literate in managing money.
We've lost one of the sons, a true patriot of Papua New Guinea.
When Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion first launched in 2013, Nabil was part of the team selected to carry out the program nationwide.
On behalf of governor of the bank, central bank, and the staff of central bank, and now people are giving body promotions, the our family, tribesmen, all the leaders of your place. Hand over. Thank you.
Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Beneficiaries of the PNG LNG project in Lea Lea village in the Karukuhiri district have acknowledged the continued partnership between 19 clans and the Mineral Resources Development Authority. Through the partnership, this coastal village has seen more basic developments in the education, health and maritime transport sectors. This week, 25 dinghies were fitted with safety features to comply with maritime standards.
It was all celebrations as the Lea Lea community gathered to witness yet another investment aimed to improve their maritime transport. 25 new banana boats with 40 horsepower outboard motors were given to representatives from the 19 clans in Lea Lea. The delivery included life jackets in line with the NMSA safety standards, valuing over 660,000 kina. MRDC Chairman John Tuaim, when officiating at the handover, says between 2018 and 2019, MRDC invested 7.5 million kina on such development projects. Tuam predicts that MRDC will invest around 11.2 million kina on community projects come 2021.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank our MRDC group. We haven't experienced this trust company. We only know that a company, when you register, you only assign checkbooks and you operate in, and you whatever business you do, you get a return. But this one is through a trust deed. So we went through beginning. We found some gray areas, but now we're happy and we know that we are guided by the trust deeds. And now we're giving back to the people. We know that when we invest, MRDC want to take stock of all these items, assets that we. So in some areas we need to identify the hurdle rates. Hurdle rate is important because the government and the management want to know what our success rate, what are the benefits. So we need to understand.
MRDC and its subsidiary Gas Resources PNG LNG Plant Limited, or GRPNG LG, has been working with beneficiaries from the PNG LNG gas project for over 2 years now. MRDC acts as a facilitator and only through discussions with the board of directors for each impacted villages facilitates the delivery of community projects.
Now that we concentrate on our fishing, we rely on it, and majority are at home. And this sort of projects will help them, for them to overcome themselves in their everyday living, to sustain themselves.
While the equities are split into 3 categories with a proportion for future generation, incentives delivered through the Community Investment Trust Funds in the 4 impacted villages include school trucks, community health posts and staff houses for teachers.
Now, in terms of community investment, in the past we've done about 2 classrooms so far, and the third one we assisted the provincial government and we completed that. Now we're going to do this. We've got a tractor as well as a big 8-ton school truck. That's about 300,000 each. Now then we after giving out these dinghies and motors, we have a new project that's coming. We're going to do a community hall.
The 25 dinghies were given out to the 19 clans on the same day following the official handover of the boats. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the NASFund market report, the Kina opened unchanged at $0.2880 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina is buying $0.2795 $0.3768 Australian dollars, $0.2277 euro and 29.03 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, coffee closed lower, cocoa and copra closed higher. Crude oil is trading lower, palm oil closed lower and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 454.84 points higher. The ASX 200 is trading at 48.99 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 47.41 points higher. And National EMTV News continues with more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. The Health Minister was questioned by member for Como Magarima, Manasseh Makiba, regarding his ministerial statement in Parliament, specifically on the National Health Department's treatment guidelines for COVID-19 patients. He wanted to know if health experts are considering the use of hydroxychloroquine, which the World Health Organization is against.
The member for Como Magarima highlighting what was stated in the Health Minister's statement, querying the Minister on the treatment guidelines for COVID-19 patients. Taking into account the number of patients that have already recovered from the virus and the use of the hydroxychloroquine, which some countries worldwide are using to treat their COVID-19 patients, as opposed to the World Health Organization going against this particular treatment.
Treatment guideline lo marasin or doctor you will give him long. Well, admitted infected patients which are lausik. One specific treatment guideline lo marasin. All will so that people he can sawe. So question lo me go minister me awesome. Suppose you may develop him treatment guidelines lo administer along all patients admitted lausik lo COVID-19. Me ask him whether all doctors consider him this like chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine as part of the treatment guideline medication or give him low patients.
Responding, Health Minister said the current treatment plan in place is sanctioned and recommended by the World Health Organization, however stating that it was also a complex one, adding that an expert team is doing trials on hydroxychloroquine.
It's a very complex treatment plan which I can ask them to put together and summarize, and I can have it sent out to all the members of Parliament so you can disseminate it back into your districts. That's the first question. And the second question with hydrochloroquine, yes, around the world people have said that hydrochloroquine is working, but we have our own, as I said, we have our own MISAC team which is made up of our medical, the best minds in our medical teams, and they are doing a trial at the moment under Dr. Tao and Dr. Boko. At this point of time, they're doing a trial, so we don't have any results yet. As soon as those results come out, we'll make it public.
A supplementary question was asked by former Health Minister and Pomio MP Elias Kabofore on the National Health Plan.
The new National Health Plan 2021 to 2030 has been disrupted or has been put on hold. The next schedule, or when do we expect the new health plan to be in place? Because we have 3 months to go and we have many stakeholders that are supporting this health plan. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Wong responded, stating that they did not want to rush, and due to COVID-19, resources had to be pulled from the National Department of Health. Annette Kora, National EMTV News.
And Parliament has been adjourned to Tuesday, 8th of September. Now turning overseas, the search continues at sea for 2 New Zealanders and dozens of others from a cattle ship that's said to have sunken in a typhoon off Japan. Dramatic footages have now emerged of one man's rescue.
In the darkness, a small sign of life. Just one man drifting in a life jacket. The first survivor found, perhaps the only. He can walk, but he's cold. And he'd soon say the ship he was on was struck by a huge wave and capsized. You're safe, his rescuers say.
You're safe.
Thank you, he says back.
I'm only one. Yes.
But today, word another man's been found. The Coast Guard says he wasn't moving and wasn't breathing. Their condition unclear. Australia, like here, is in waiting.
There'll be a lot of shock around the place.
He's talking about this man, Lucas Order, 25 and a vet, and one of the two Australians missing.
Yeah, I spoke to the father last night, devastated, heartbroken. They know it's almost the worst, even though you hold out a little bit of hope.
There's no official word on the two New Zealanders still missing after leaving port in the middle of last month. Last night, the Primary Industries Ministry halted applications for live cattle exports until it too can say what happened.
I had some cattle that was on that ship. We raise these animals and we send them away. I certainly wouldn't send them for live ship export if I wasn't happy with the standards that they use.
But the Gulf Livestock One has had trouble before. Australian officials just last year found problems. But for now, the hope is to find more survivors.
And Trukai Sports is next. We'll preview this weekend's NSL matches. Yes, Helen, we will also profile an athlete who has qualified for the Tokyo Olympics. Join me for Trukai Sports after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. More finals places on the line this weekend as round 15 of the Kumul Petroleum National Soccer League kicks into action. Football analysts who have been following the matches say it's now or never for Vitiaz and Hekari, who are separated by 3 points.
Undoubtedly, the 2020 season of the Kumul Petroleum National Soccer League has produced more on and off field drama than ever before.
Well, if that isn't a goal, I don't know what is.
Top sides in Ley City and Hekari United have drawn more attention to themselves off the pitch, but it's on the green fields where they've allowed football to do the talking. Ley City have been undefeated thus far in the season, racking up a staggering amount of goals along the way and bringing with them arguably PNG's biggest names. Hekari, though, find themselves in a most unlikely spot, 3rd place. And it is a worry, says former PNG international Mauri Wasi.
Hekari will feel they haven't really exerted their dominance over the league, especially with the caliber of players they have over there. There will also be individual players that will feel they've let the team down with their performances over the last couple of weeks as well. So they'll be coming up firing to make amends for that. And Gulf Comoro might feel the pinch of that.
These reflections are also backed up by two of Oceania football's chief analysts. Mark Gregory, who has been following the matches since the 2019 season, says never before has a win been more crucial for PNG's most decorated side.
Really interesting match this actually, because Hekari are in desperate need of a win. They really need to win. They're 5 points behind Ley City at the top of the table, 3 points behind Vitiaz. 3rd place would not be an acceptable finish for the management given the financial backing that they've got on offer and the players they bought in at the start of the season. They will want more than that, because 3rd place means they won't qualify for the OFC Champions League.
Rafael Saltori, who resides in Brazil and is another main contributor to football commentary in PNG, says these matches will prove do or die for the top sides.
Now the top important match of this week in Port Moresby is going to be Tuesday Stallions against Bougainville. Bougainville lost 9-2 against Ley City 2 weeks ago, but he could bounce back. They won the last week. and they're going to face a team that made a fantastic first part of the season, that's Uzbek Stallions, but now they are really doing bad. They lost 6 matches. They are without a win in 6 matches in a row. So Stallions is necessary then to win this match against Bougainville.
What is common theme, though, has been that the top sides at the moment are running off the quality of players they possess, rather than a fully tactical approach instilled on them by their coaching personnel. And it will be interesting the outcome by day's end. Hikari United meet Gulf Kumara at 11 a.m, Tusbab Stallions meet FC Bougainville at 1 p.m, and Vitiaz are expected to beat bottom side Kutubu FC at 3 p.m. All those matches simulcast on EMTV and EMTV Online throughout the day. Helen Sea, Chukai Sports.
And EMTV will begin live telecast of the NSL matches at the Port Moresby Football Stadium starting at 11 a.m. tomorrow. He is the first athlete who secured a spot for PNG in the postponed Tokyo Olympics. After a long break due to COVID-19, professional sailor Tariq Inuma is back in the gym. 20-year-old Tariq Inuma qualified for the Olympics in the laser standard class during the World Laser Championships in Melbourne early this year. The journey after qualifying has been no easy task for this young lad.
It's pretty much, I'd say, the gym's been closed. A lot of restrictions due to COVID has really put us down and haven't really been able to get more training in and stuff like that.
The global pandemic COVID-19 has presented some serious challenges for many athletes, and Tariq is no exception.
A lot of things have really hit me mentally, and I was really affected on my fitness and lots of my health and stuff like that. The gym's been closed. Normally I go to the gyms to really relieve some stress and stuff like that.
With challenges posing serious impacts on athletes, PNG Olympics Committee is looking at ways to help elite athletes during these difficult times.
Mental training for some of our athletes with this downtime and on that we've been able to get some of our sports psychologists involved and help our athletes to.
With PNG OC backing, Numa is determined to get back on track.
They're doing the right thing by bringing some experts in and stuff like that, which is really good. It also helps us training a lot of professional ways and stuff like that, which gets our mind off a lot of pain that we go through every day during training. And I think that's a heads up for us.
Following the announcement of elite athlete inductions, screening and testing, in anticipation, Tariq says this will allow him to see where he stands on the road to Tokyo 2021. The Curtin Brothers Men's T20 games are currently underway with 4 teams vying for this year's title. The competition completed day 4 matches with the first game between Mudmen and Black Bass. In the first innings, after 19 overs, Mudmen all out for 148 runs. In the chase, the Black Bass innings just fell short, with 9 wickets down for 133 runs after 20 overs. Mudmen winning by 15 runs. The Curtin Brothers T20 smash will continue through to next week and will see the grand final on Friday, 11th September 2020. And Trukai Sports continues with more sports stories abroad after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To basketball, the NBL playoffs just keep on giving. This time, Toronto Raptors up against the Boston Celtics, putting off a finish which will be replayed for years to come. Here is the remarkable play.
The defending champions down 2 games in the series, down 1 point in game 3. Only half a second left on the clock. Winning is impossible, right? Wrong.
Series on the line. Ananomi got it off and it goes! Did it count is the question!
Yes, it did. Kyle Lowry with the pinpoint pass, OG Anunoby with the remarkably quick release, beating the buzzer, and Boston's defence, providing these already enthralling NBA playoffs with a chapter Agatha Christie would be proud of.
I just waited, and OG, he's been shooting lights out the last couple weeks, so I had confidence in him, and we take that win.
And the Raptors may never have needed it more. Staring down the barrel of a 3-0 conference semi-finals deficit, it looked all but over just a play earlier.
Walker dishes tight with the dunk with .5 left.
The North's defence inexplicably leaving centre Daniel Tice alone under the hoop.
How about that? A no-look pass to give Boston the lead.
A lead that looked good enough to make the Raptors' series-winning chances all but extinct. But Lowry and Anunoby had other ideas.
We scrapped and clawed and fought, and we never quit. And it's a really, really good team over there. They're going to come to make adjustments, but we have to play much harder.
Having taken hit after hit all series, was this the blow that made the Raptors roar to life?
And True Kai Sports ends there. Helen will be back with the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Bye for now.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Mostly fine with cloudy periods in Port Moresby. Occasional rain drizzle in Daru. Mostly fine then possible afternoon rain and drizzles in Kerema. Mostly fine then chance of afternoon evening showers in Alutau, and in Popondita cloudy weather with occasional rain drizzles. In the Mamasa region, cloudy with occasional rain showers in Leh and mostly fine weather in Madang, Wewak and Vanimore. In the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine weather in Lorengau, mostly fine then possible afternoon showers in Kokopo, Rabaul, Kavieng, Kimbe and Buka. And in the Highlands region, mostly fine weather, then afternoon showers developing in Mount Hagen, Goroka and Kondiawa. Cloudy with afternoon rain showers in Mendi and Wabeg.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's the way it is this Friday, the 4th of September 2020. From all of us here at EMTV, pleasant viewing. Have a safe weekend. Bye for now.